Howling good night to everyone. Welcome back to Rotex Gaming Den, and we're back with another Pokemon video. We're going to be doing something a little different today. I had planned on doing a little level grinding in the wild area off camera, just doing exploring, and I didn't want to have y'all just sit through and watch me knock out a bunch of Pokemon. So instead, I figured this would be a good time to just kind of have a little mid videos thing where I talk about my love-hate relationship with Pokemon Sword. So you get to watch me just basically kill and murder a lot of innocent Pokemon. Yes, they're dead. There's no Pokemon Centers around here. They're all gone. And while we're doing that, I'll give my perspective and my personal opinion on why I love and why I hate Pokemon Sword. It's a it's a mixed feeling of both of them. So it's not going to just be one sided. I'm not going to just bash on the game just because yes, it has a lot of controversial things packed behind it, but I'm not going to outright love it either just because it's Pokemon and I have nostalgia for it. Again, that's how most people should be. So I will be saying a lot of the things that you probably already heard, and I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I already said at the start of my first video, but it's mostly just me kind of clarifying and getting all of this out there now. So if I do this now, then I won't have to worry about nitpicking everything else in the game. I could just go through and enjoy it. But before we get to all of that, I would like to first make mention, if it hasn't been noticed yet, I do finally have a mic now. So hopefully my audio quality is a little bit better. So just let me know in the comment section if this works a little bit better for you, or you prefer the headset mic on my headset here. So we'll get right into this then. So Pokemon Sword and Shield, when they were initially announced back in, I can't remember when, it was 2018, 2019, one of them. So the teaser trailer for that, when I first saw it, I was so excited about it. I was just ecstatic, just a loss of words. I just couldn't believe they were finally making a Pokemon game for a home console, like the main series. Because, we had like Pokemon Stadium and um, Pokemon Coliseum and XD, and the other one I forgot what that one was. What is that one? Pokemon. It's not Gale of Darkness. It's the one that came out for on the, I think it was the Wii. Battle Revolution. That's what it was. So that we had those, but they weren't made by like Game Freak, and they weren't official story-based titles. They were mostly just kind of battle, except for XD and Coliseum. Those had actual stories with them. I know Battle Revolution and Pokemon Stadium were just battle it out with Pokemon you already had yourself, but that's beside the point. So yes, I was very happy to finally see a mainline Pokemon game to be announced on a home console. And as I was looking at the teaser trailer, I was just like, it just looked great to me. Like at that time, we only got a little bit. That's a teaser trailer, but what the little bit we saw is like, oh yes, this is gonna look so awesome. This is gonna be so great. I just can't wait to play it. I want it to come out now. Like, give it to me. And then it basically all went downhill from there. So like more of the game started being leaked and teased, and like data miners and all that kind of stuff started revealing more of it, and we started to see that so hey, that we're starting to have a few problems here at the game. But I think before that happened, it was announced that they weren't going to have all of the Pokemon in the game, which, as heartbreaking as that is, it didn't hurt me too much. Like, I guess it's kind of expected, and then like in newer games anyway, they don't always initially include all the Pokemon from all the previous game. But I think the problem was that they said you weren't even allowed to transfer. Yeah, that was the main issue. It's like, we aren't even gonna allow you to transfer older Pokemon into this game, which most people were upset about because they had Pokemon Home and Pokemon Bank. It's like, I get all my Pokemon here now, and I paid you to put them here, so like, what do I do with them now? I can't move them to the new game. So fortunately for me, I hadn't even had that because I lost my game, so all of my Pokemon were going anyway. I was basically starting from scratch. I had the ones from the X and Y that I rebought. I had Omega Ruby, and I had I said that I had Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. So, but I think the ones that I was wanting to carry over were being reintroduced in the game. So I wasn't too hurt about it, especially since Charizard was coming back and That's always a plus. But aside from that, so you had that issue going on where they said they weren't putting all the Pokemon back in there. And the reason that they stated for it apparently was that they wanted to improve the graphics and give a better battling system. And I think I might have touched upon that a little bit in my first episode. So that's when people started leaking more content from the game and showing off that, hey, so you remember how they talked about having higher quality models and animations? Take a look at this. And they do a side-by-side comparison of the 3DS Pokemon game models with the Switch models that they could get, and it showed that they were essentially the exact same. Animations, they were essentially the exact same. The models were slightly higher texture. I think they call it like poly because the more triangles, so a little higher detail for more resolution, all that kind of good stuff. But the mapping and like the base of it is the same. It just has more. I don't know what they call it. It's just more It's more detailed. But if you look at that, it's like that shouldn't take that much effort. And most people would assume that maybe they have some way to convert that anyway. Kind of like how they did with Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, where they brought models from the older games and just bumped them up a bit to put them in Let's Go. So then you have to wonder, okay, so if they're using the exact same models, then what's the problem? Why can't they put in all the other Pokemon? And that's where the division in the fan base started. Is you had the people that are defending Game Freak saying, well, hold on, let's just wait. The other people are like, no, there's no excuse. Like, we see this now. We know what's happening. We can't allow this. But again, my personal thing is I didn't think it was a big deal. I was just, okay, so we're having some problems here. It's not the end of the world. I still want to play this game. I really want to play a Pokemon game on the home console. I'm not going to let a little backsliding and backpedaling deter me. But then they started showing off more of the game, and you start to see that, yes, the game looks pretty, but then you have more of the models and animations being shown off, and it's like, well, hold on. This basically looks like a Nintendo DS game just being blown up on the big screen. Like, you have people like Hop reusing the same animation from your main rival in Sun and Moon, like the exact same animation. And then you have like I said, all the Pokemon models are just using the same base animations from their portable versions. And it's like, what have you been doing? Like, you promised us better content because you were putting in less. So more work, but less content. That was like, I could have went with that. I'm sure most people could have went with that. But when they started showing that off, it's like, that's not what we're getting. So at this point, I'm starting to lose hope. I'm wondering, well, I don't know. I don't even know if I can support this right now because this is looking pretty dicey. I can't. If they're lying to me, then I can't support this game. And so even more of it starts being revealed, and people are data mining it even more. And we start to confirm everything that has been said. And they release the demo, and we see the textures and the content of the game, and it's like, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. This is barely a step up from a 3DS game. If you want to say it's a step up, it might be a step down. In fact, like I said, the only thing that got bumped up are the graphics, and that was about it. But this is where I kind of started to dip. This is where I initially said I can't play this game anymore. And like, after everything that happened, this is over the course of months to a year. I can't, like I said, it depends on when the game was announced. I can't remember. But I had my hopes up, and then it was just all dashed down. And at that point, I just said, I give up. I can't play this game. There's too much going on with it. Like, they're obviously just going after money. They want to go for that nostalgia, the nostalgia dollars. They just want to feed on the fan base that they know will buy it because it's a Pokemon game. They don't care about the quality of it. They just want to get a Pokemon game out there and make money. And that is what happened. But when the game got officially released and people were playing it and they were giving their reviews, I watched I think 2 or 3 videos about it. Not the full stuff. Only one person that I watched the full video of was Distant Kingdom, a YouTuber here. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He goes into very great details about all this kind of stuff, the animations, the models, and all that kind of stuff about the Pokemon games, and he even gives suggestions on how they could have fixed it, and offers like argument on why you can't defend Game Freak. But me personally, like I said, I just came to my own conclusions that I didn't want to do it. I wasn't joining the mob or anything like that, just because I feel like the majority hated the game. If I wanted to like the game, I would have liked it. If I wanted to hate it, I would have hated it. So it's my own personal opinion. It's not someone else's that just kind of influenced me. I made it based on what I personally saw. And that's what everyone should be like. No one should get the game for loyalty and nostalgia, or try to defend someone that's trying to like throw the wool over your eyes. You shouldn't just jump on it and say this is a great game because it's from something that you love. If anything, because it's something that you love, your standard should be higher. And Game Freak has released some good games. They have had good content in the past, but as some people have pointed out, they have a history of backpedaling and taking out stuff that was really well received by the community and just stripping it and putting in something that most people will overwhelmingly say that they hate it. And then they'll try to keep it in there anyway and not even bring back the thing that everybody liked. Game Freak just apparently likes doing that kind of stuff. But as time went on and more of the game kept being talked about, and like this has been months now, and people finished it up a while ago, and now they're starting to give their full feedback, and the community is still being fully divided. Later on, they start to announce that they're going to have a DLC for the game, and of course that started a whole nother uproar. But this is where I really just had enough with what was going on with Pokemon right now, because the DLC, when they revealed the trailer for that, I was just looking at that in awe. I was like, wow, this looks so great. They are bringing back older Pokemon. They're adding more Dynamax forms. They're adding more content, and they finally allow Pokemon to follow you. Like, this is great. I love what you did. But now I'm furious because this should have been in the base game. Or at the very least, why are we paying so much for it? Because you have $60 for the base game and then you have $30 for the DLC. That's $90. Which, in and of itself, if you think about it, is only $10 more than what you would normally do for like the regular game and then a remake of that same game. You know, most people usually get two. They'll get the regular one and the remake of it. So this isn't something new or surprising. And I wouldn't have even hated it if the base game was good. But it wasn't. So that was my issue. Was it seemed like they had went into this initially with the thought in mind to just only have the base game be bare bones and then charge everyone for better content, which is something that no company should ever do. The base game should be great, and then extra content should be just as great, if not better. You shouldn't have something that's bad and then try to patch it up later and charge people to make it better. That's horrible. That's just a bad way to run a business. That's a bad way to connect with your consumers, because you will have a lot of people upset with you, and then no one's going to want to come back and buy your content again. So that was my problem with it, and that's where I just drew the line and said, I can't do this anymore. If this is how Pokemon is going to be now, just a cash grab, then I can't play any of the games anymore. But even with that, because I have such a strong nostalgia for the franchise, and I really did want to try out Sword and Shield because I've been playing every other main installment, I didn't want to skip out on this one just because I feel like Game Freak was trying to screw me over. So I said if I could ever find the game on sale, then I would still get it, and that's how I got it now. So, like I said, I think I mentioned this in my first video. I would not have the game now if I didn't get it on sale. I don't care how much I wanted to play it. I wasn't going to give them that much money for a game with such little content. And that brings up another thing: is the content of the game. It's also bare bones. It's like you go back to the other games with all the extra stuff that they put in. Even Ultra Sun and Moon brought the, I can't remember what it's called. It's like a battle tower or something with Giovanni and some other big name bosses in there, and you could fight them. And like, and even in Emerald, they had like a ton of content with the battle towers, the battle frontier, and all that kind of stuff in there. Like that, that was good stuff. That was what you kind of hope for, especially in a essentially a remake or a step up from the first two games. So even the DLC, well, no, the DLC did actually add a good story with the dojo stuff, and I heard a lot of good stuff about that. Like, I'm very much excited to play that when I get to it, which won't happen until I beat this game. But yeah, so it's something to look forward to for me. Um, it's just thinking about like all the main stories that I played, all the main titles. My favorite one would have to be Heart Gold and Soul Silver because there was just so much to do, and that's ignoring the fact that Pokemon. That was when they introduced Pokemon to follow you. That was a lovely little feature. Although I think it was also in Yellow, but I don't. I think you could only do it with Pikachu. So in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you could do it all of them. So that was nice, and they had the Pokeathlon, which was my favorite thing to do as a pastime. And they also had the, I believe it was the Battle Frontier. I believe that was in there, so you could do that too. Like Heart Gold and Soul Silver had so much extra content added to it, and like a second game from there, I would rank would probably be like either Emerald or Pokemon Diamond. Both of them I like because they also had a lot of extra content, and they had the secret bases, the hidden bases, that kind of stuff, which was fun. So like you had more stuff to do in the handheld than you do in the Switch title. So that makes you wonder, what are they charging you for? They went from saying we're cutting content to make sure that this game is a higher quality. That didn't happen. But they're still charging you the price of a full AAA Switch title. So it's like, what are you supporting? What are you defending? What is it that what do you see in this game? Because I think there's nothing there for you to support paying this much for it. Like, and then there are people that make the argument that we're entitled, or we would get mad if they delayed the game. I can't see that argument. Me personally, I would have preferred they delayed it. It would have been another couple months. It would have been another year. Whatever it takes, I would have preferred they fix the game and make it worth the $60 price tag that they're stamping to it. I like an entitlement issue is it really entitled to expect good quality from a game that you're paying $60 for? I keep mentioning the price because it's $60. You had games like Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild released earlier on the Switch, and I heard that there were a few like frame drops in them, but everything that was in there was what you would expect from a current generation game. And then you have Pokemon Sword and Shield come out, and it's a step down. You only get the graphics you expect, and that's even bare bones. And everything else is basically just a switch on big screen. So again, I'm wondering what people are defending, and how are we entitled for asking for good content from this game? How is it bad that original fans are expecting Game Freak and Nintendo to keep releasing good content from their game? We're not asking for like the most spectacular thing. We're not asking for the highest resolution, realistic HD 4K 3D graphics. We're not wanting like the best frame rates in the world, or like we're not wanting just the most high depth game. We just want something good. Pokemon Sword wasn't even good. It was passable. That was it. It was passable. We wanted something that just was worthy of a Pokemon Switch title. And Sword and Shield didn't give that to us until the DLC, which again they made you pay more for. So that all of that is pretty much why I hate this game. When it was initially announced, about to the time it was released, on the day it was released, I wanted it to bomb so hard. I wanted it to fail. And I think I also mentioned that in my first video. I just wanted it not to sell hardly any copies, so that Game Freak and Nintendo could see their mistake and see that they just can't screw people over and get their money and expect it to be okay. They have to put out something that shows that they put effort into it. They have to put out some kind of good content to warrant charging everyone $60 for it. And the sad fact is, this game sold the highest out of all of their Pokemon main titles series. This one was their biggest grossing income for all their Pokemon titles, and that really depressed me. That just really hurt me. I couldn't believe that people were so eager to be tricked into buying something that wasn't worth $60. If it was $40, I would still complain about it, but I would buy it. Like, I would have instantly bought it because it's a Pokemon title. It's $40. It's pretty much the same price as a Nintendo 3DS game, and that's how much I feel like it was worth. My personal opinion. Maybe someone else has a different opinion. You're entitled to your own opinions, of course. But 60 is, I feel, too much, and I'm sure other people can agree to that. You shouldn't, like, I just really wish people had have held off at least a couple days to make Game Freak and Nintendo freak out a little bit, just to get an idea that we can't put out just anything. We have to put some effort into this, or people are not going to buy it. So when I saw that, I just kind of wanted to quit right then and there. I didn't even feel like playing my other Pokemon games. I still haven't even finished Ultra Sun and Moon because I was wondering, what's the point? I'm not going to be able to put my Pokemon on the newer game. And even then, I don't even want to play the newer games. So why should I continue playing the series? It's just going to sit there and collect dust. There's no reason for me to continue. So that started to hurt me a little bit more. And in the long run, like I said, I decided that I would still try to get Sword and Shield if I can ever find it on sale. Even if it's a used copy, because somebody else returned theirs, I would get that if it's at least $20 or so cheaper. Somewhere close to that price range. And thankfully I got it. I even got it new. It was on sale. I was happy about that. So I am still very eager to play through it. And because it is a Pokemon title, I still love it. Like, despite all the problems that came with it, all the shortcuts that Game Freak took, all the reuse of animation models and low quality textures, all that stuff, it is still a Pokemon game, and I very much want to play it. I want to get through it. I want to finish it. I want to enjoy it. I just want to experience the Pokemon life, essentially. Ever since the main title, I've always loved kind of putting myself in the protagonist's shoes and just imagining myself in the Pokemon world. Even now, as old as I am, that's still one of my biggest fantasy worlds to imagine myself in. Because it's like just something you can really escape to, something you can enjoy, something that's just so easy to fantasize about and make you smile. Like, Pokemon is a franchise that makes you smile. And I feel like even no matter how bad they mess it up, as long as it still has the basic fundamentals of being a Pokemon game, which thankfully Sword and Shield does, it'll still make you smile at the end of the day. And that's the only reason I wanted to stick with it, because despite all the bad stuff that's with it, it is still a Pokemon game, and that's why I ultimately decided I was still going to get it if I can get it at the right price. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm hoping I can get through all of this. I'm hoping that I can play through it and enjoy it fully, despite all the problems, which I know I can, because I'm not a picky person. I'm not the person that just nitpicks the heck out of a game just for criticism's sake. Like, I was nitpicking at Hop so much because it just hurt to see how little effort Game Freak put into it. The fact that they keep reusing the same animation over and over, and it's not even a new thing. It's, again, reused from Sun and Moon with, I think his name is Halu or Howell. I can't remember. I don't remember where the U and the L are in his name, so I'm sorry to that guy. But yeah, it just hurt to keep seeing that. That's why I was kind of counting it, just basically being petty. And I don't want to keep being petty on a game that I honestly and truly want to enjoy. So again, that's why I'm putting all this out there now. I want to get my perspective on it and to kind of clarify why I was initially being so harsh on the game, but why I'm still playing it. I don't want to be another person on YouTube that just bashes the game because that's popular to do. That's there's just so much to pick on it, and I don't want to be another person that just blindly says this is the greatest game ever, because it's not. It's not the best Pokemon game ever. It's not the best game on the Switch. This is hardly even a good game, but it's still a Pokemon game. If you can admit that it's not a good game, but you still enjoy it, that's fine. But you can't justify and keep saying, "Oh, this is the best game ever," and you just don't know what you're talking about. That's being blind to the truth. That's you're letting. I don't want to say you're letting loyalty and nostalgia blind you, but you probably are. And I would suggest that everyone just take a non-biased look at it and see for what it is. Pokemon Sword and Shield is not a bad game, but it's not a good Pokemon game because you lost so much from previous titles in this game just for a bigger screen and slightly better graphics. But I think that kind of sums up and clarifies everything, I hope. So the gist of it, I was disappointed with the game, but I still am excited and happy with the fact that a Pokemon game is on the home console. And I very much want to get through this and finish it. I very much want to enjoy it and have a good time. So again, despite all the problems that came with it, I very much want to have fun with this game. And I can't wait to see all my favorite Pokemon or new favorite Pokemons in the future when I make it further in the game and catch it. So, yeah, I hope this kind of cleared everything up and help people understand why I sometimes am so harsh with this game. It's because I love it and I want to see it do great. I want to see it go on for generations and generations to come. I want it to be where the point where even my children can play it and enjoy it. Which I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit to a point that some people have made about the fact that this game is too easy, and I feel that it is, because like the forced EXP share, I can get over that personally. Even when it is optional, I usually leave mine on anyway, because unless I'm doing like some EV training, because the thing about it is, why make more work for you if you don't have to? If you're done EV training, then EXP share on is fine. You blast through all your levels and get everybody leveled up pretty quickly. There's no reason in fighting 10 times as many Pokemon as you need to just for it to say, oh, I had EXP share off and now I'm a hardcore gamer, because you just made unnecessary work for yourself. You had the tools there to help you, you just refuse to use it. That's not really making you better, it just means you play the game differently, which everyone plays the game how they want. So yeah, again, I hope that helps to clarify everything. I ended up talking a little bit longer than I intended to. I was hoping this only be like 10 or 15 minutes. I think I'm already about at 30 minutes. So yeah, again, this is my point of view. This is my perspective, my opinion on it. I just wanted to get that out there and say why it is, how I feel, the way I am. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for watching, and hope everybody has a howling good day.